Alrighty, guys, welcome officially to May 2025's Money Mastery Live. If you're new to our Money Mastery Lives, I see a bunch of familiar faces, some new faces as well, or names, I should say. Welcome on, guys. If you are not familiar with how this call goes, I want to lay down some ground rules for you, okay? So the first time, some objectives of how this call is going to look, okay? So I start each call with a little bit of a lesson plan. We're going to do a little bit of a pivot this time around because I got a cool tool that I want to show you guys. Not sure if you're familiar with it yet, but I want to make sure that we're keeping you prepared for summertime this year. We're going to go over some discussion questions together, and then I'm going to open up for some Q&A. So as we go throughout this call, if you guys have any questions along the way, please write them down, and we'll make sure that we got plenty of time at the end for that. Okay? Some ground rules. If you guys have been with me before, you know how I roll. If you have the ability to turn those cameras on, I want to see those beautiful faces. I want you to pull up your chat box on Zoom right now because I want you to be engaging with me throughout this call. So right now, pull up that chat box and go ahead and give me a hello, hi, anything you got for me. Beautiful. Welcome on, guys. Yeah, keep that open and be ready to engage with us. I always say this, guys, you're going to get out of this what you put into it. Okay, so make sure you're here, you're engaging with us and going part of this conversation. So this month's topic is going to be about summer vacation planning, hopefully, right? My whole pitch here is going to be that I want you planning these things out thoroughly. Okay, so question for you guys, and throw it into the chat box here. How many of you have plans to do a vacation, a weekend getaway, a day trip this summer? Go ahead and throw it in the chat box, yes or no. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And if the answer is no, how many of you plan to do a vacation at some point in the future or hope to be able to do a vacation at some point in the future? All right. That's where I hope it's a yes. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. So today, what we're going to go over is planning for vacations. Okay. And I got a specific tool that I want to show to you guys. That's going to be the bulk of our lesson plan that I want you guys utilizing. Okay. So for all of you that said, yes, you have some type of trip already planned, I want to make sure that we have it thoroughly planned, right? Not just planned because it's on the calendar, but planned because I know financially speaking, what it's going to entail and that I'm going to be ready and prepared for it. Okay? Who here has ever gone on a vacation in which maybe you had a good time on the vacation, but when you came home, there was a little bit of that crap? I kind of think I blew it a little bit, or I went overboard, or you're coming back with regret or anything like that. Give me a yes or no in the chat box if you've ever experienced this. Yeah, I think we all have. I think we all have. And one of the things that, if you don't know this about me yet, I am a big believer of being able to do the fun things alongside of growing and progressing financially. Okay, this isn't all about just being responsible all the time, right? This is about being able to grow and enjoy the journey along the way. Okay, and why do we plan for these vacations? Yes, so we don't take steps backwards and so we don't hurt ourselves. But ultimately, what I want for you guys is to be able to thoroughly enjoy the vacation and let that vacation do what it's supposed to do, right? Help you kind of disconnect, recoup, get kind of refueled and back to being able to hit it when you come home. Okay, when we have that stress in the back of our mind, right, of like, man, this is causing me to go overboard, I'm taking steps backwards, it kind of defeats the entire point of the vacation. Okay, so I designed this tool to help us execute our same 4 steps that you guys might be familiar with our base system of financial control. Okay, and we're going to go over that. So if you can right now, go ahead and use the scan code to pull up this tool if available. Okay, give you guys a sec to do that. And we're going to go over some basics on how to do this. If you guys have questions, like I said, happy to answer them at the end. Okay? Give me a got it or a yes in the chat box when you got this thing pulled up, if you're able to. Okay, so here's another thing I can do. Let me go ahead and get you the link in the Zoom chat here. That might be a little easier for you to be able to just click on and open up. Good, good. Yeah, I see you guys popping in here already. Perfect. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to make this your own. Okay, and what you're going to do is come over here to File, make a copy. Okay, make sure that you are logged into your Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, make a quick free one. All right, we all like free things, right? Make a free Gmail account, and when you hit make a copy, it's going to create your own copy in your Google Drive. Okay, from there, you have full access to be able to use this for yourself and punch in your own things. Okay, so I'm going to go over what our 4 steps are for utilizing this planner. Okay, and they follow the same 4 steps of our overall 4-step system. Okay, step 1 is getting organized. Okay, this is where we start planning out what is this trip going to entail. Okay, how am I getting there? Am I taking a plane, the train? Am I driving? Am I staying in a hotel? Am I staying in an Airbnb? Start planning and mapping out what this trip is going to look like. Okay. On here, you'll see I give a bunch of different categories, common categories of travel, but there's also an other here. And when you get in here, you can also use the edit button to add your own categories if you want. Okay. You're going to give it a little bit of description, right? Give the name of the flight that you're on, or give the name of the hotel that you're staying at. Something that's just going to help you, again, get organized. All right. Once we have the entire trip laid out of what this is going to look like, I want us to then move to step 2 of collecting data. Okay. Well, we're going to start putting out the numbers of what these different things should be costing. Okay. And you're going to notice here I have a projection and an actual column. The projection is you using in our system, right? And when we're doing our coaching, we talk about doing no more than projections, right? For expenses, we want to give it a no more than projection. And this is something that we can do pretty quickly, right? Just run through and give it a no more than projection. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at, and we're going to come back to step 2 here when it comes to the actual, but I want to try to just see first, is this vacation we're planning in the realm of reality? Okay. A lot of times we just plan out our vacation without even looking at the numbers and really looking at the whole. And even worse, what I've seen a lot of students do is that they plan it out, or excuse me, they start executing the plan as they go without knowing the full scope of the vacation, right? Meaning they get partway through and they run out of budget. But guess what? We're already halfway through this thing. So what are we going to continue doing? We're going to continue going along with the vacation. Okay. What we want to be able to do is get the full picture in place first before we start pulling the trigger on the vacation. Okay. Give me a yes or no in the chat box if this is making sense so far. Beautiful. Yeah, this call's a little bit more tactical today, guys. Usually we go into mindset stuff, we go into concepts, but this one I wanted to make sure as we're heading into summer that any trips that we have that we're actually planning it out and getting ahead of it. Okay, we're in May. Hopefully we have a little bit of time to plan this. So that leads me to step 3 of making a plan. Okay, so as we put some example stuff in here, let's just say lodging, 1,000. I'm just making stuff up, guys. Rent. Okay, let's just say these are the 2 things of our... Uh-oh. Oh, I'm putting this in the wrong place, of course. Okay, so what this is going to show us is what our total projected cost is. When we lay out our no more than projections, it's going to show us our total projected cost. Okay, now there's a few things that we need to have ready to go to be able to help execute our plan. Okay, now our traditional 4-step system that we teach will give you this information. So if you guys have your budget set up and you have them all laid out, you should know these numbers. Okay, or at least on your way to. So the first thing is, what do we currently have saved up for this vacation? Okay, what do we have set aside for our summer vacation, our annual vacation, whatever it might be? Let's just say for now we have $1,000 saved up. The other thing we want to know is how much monthly cash flow can we contribute to this trip between now and when the trip is? Okay, let's just say I have $200 a month I can put towards this trip each month. Okay, the next thing we're going to need to know is Well, when is the trip? How many months do I have until the trip is happening? Okay. So in here, months to save, let's just say I have 3 months to save. Okay. What you guys can hopefully see from here is it's telling us where we're going to end up based on the numbers we're looking at. Okay. If our no more than projections 1800 for this trip, we have 1000 saved and we can save 200 for the next 3 months. It's showing us that we're going to be short by 200. Okay. Give me a yes or no in the chat box if that's clicking, if that's making sense. Okay. Beautiful. I want to see a few more. Perfect. Awesome. So what we need to do now, okay, in this case, right, it's showing us that we are going to come short. All right. And this is something that we talk about in our systems as well, is we need to figure out how to turn the dials and knobs to get it to where it needs to be. Okay. Now, of course, if we build out a plan and the plan looks good, fantastic. That's the easy one, right? Then we can move on to executing that plan. But when we build out the plan and we need to make adjustments, we want to see that and know how to turn those dials and knobs. So with that, what we might do is look at our list, and hopefully your guys' list is a little bit more extensive than mine, right? I'm just trying to give some examples here. But you're going to look at, okay, here was my original plan, and where are some areas that I can kind of reel it in a little bit. Okay, this helps us to be strategic with the vacation, because there's two things that I see a lot of students do. One, they hit what we call the F it button on one of two things, right? They either hit the F it button on the vacation as a whole, right? I don't have the money for it, I can't do it. Okay, or they hit the F it button on the planning part of it, and they're like, I'm just gonna do it anyways. Right? I want us to find that middle ground of how can we do it and how can we do it right. Okay. So maybe the expectation we had originally of our vacation just needs to be adjusted, right? Maybe instead of this Airbnb, we go find a different Airbnb, right? Maybe the Airbnb we get is a little further away from Central, whatever it might be. Okay. Maybe the rental car we get is a little less, or maybe we decide to Uber instead of a rental car. Get strategic, get creative. Don't say, no, I can't go, or don't say, no, I'm not going to pay attention. Find the solution. Okay. So we adjust these numbers of, like, you know what? Instead of the American flight, I don't know if United's cheaper. I'm just making this up. Let's go with United, and it's $500 instead. I found a cheaper flight. Okay. Maybe I don't like United, but I'm willing to do it because now look, my plan is now where it needs to be. Okay. Another thing is, maybe you do have the money for it, but when you plan out the trip and you look at what it's going to cost, you say, I'm not spending that on a vacation right now. Right? Maybe you do have it, but that number is something where you're like, no, I'm not doing that. That's another area for adjusting the dials and knobs. Okay, this works very well if you are in a relationship, if you are married, and there's one spouse that's the driver of this vacation and the other spouse that's trying to save. Very normal in marriages for there to be that yin and the yang. This is your way to kind of communicate and come to a common ground together. Okay, does this make sense? Give me a yes or no in the chat box on how we can use this tool to lay everything out and see the numbers, and more importantly, adjust the dials and knobs so that we don't have to hit that F it button on either side of the equation. Beautiful. Okay. Now, once we know that we're in the realm of possibility with our projected results, this is when you're going to want to go and do a little bit of the homework to get the actual numbers. Because again, we're just kind of giving ballpark no more than projections here. Now we want to sit there and make sure that the numbers we have are accurate. Okay. So we're going to go through. All right, this plane ticket's actually $990. We were pretty dang close. And then we found out, oh man, United is actually $550. Okay. But we're going to punch in the actual numbers, and it's going to show us here in the actual, same thing. Are we still on track? Are we still in alignment? All right. Once we have our plan laid out, guys, and this goes for any goal that you want to accomplish, financially speaking, okay? It actually really works with any goal, all right? Getting organized, collecting the data, counting the cost, making the plan, knowing what the end destination is going to be before we start, and then step 4 of sticking to the plan, or in other words, executing the plan. Okay. Now I put this here. If you guys are using our budget already, you're probably going to want to do this in your budget, But if you're not quite there yet and you want to use this tool, this step 4 is here to track all the different transactions of the vacation and to make sure, you'll notice it says budget remaining, to make sure you're staying in alignment with the plan. Okay, now here's the fun thing about doing it this way. So long as you're sticking to the plan, you can be confident that it's going to work out, that it's going to go the way that you think it's going to go, as opposed to let's just start buying things and hope for the best. 99% of the time, guys, that's going to cause you to go overboard on these vacations. Because what's one important thing? I want you to type it in the chat box. There's something that we talk about if you've ever been working with me in any capacity. There's something that we do all of this planning and all of this stuff to remove one key thing from our decision-making process that specifically on a vacation becomes very heightened. I want to see if any of you guys can get this. Boom, Serena nailed it. Do you guys see that in the chat box? Emotion. When you are on vacation, uh-oh, got a hot mic here. Come on, Mike. Emotions, guys. When you're on vacation, your emotions are elevated, right? You guys ever heard of the YOLO kind of feel when you're on a vacation, right? You only live once. Let's just do it. Whatever, just do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay? We want to build out this plan to try to remove emotion from that decision-making process. Okay? This might feel counterintuitive at the front because you're like, I just want to enjoy myself. I don't want to have to think so much about this. I promise you guys, you build the plan. The whole point of this is so that you can turn your brain off and just execute the plan and truly enjoy your vacation. Okay? Give me a yes or no in the chat if this is making sense and you're clear on how to use this tool. Awesome. Good, good, good. All right, let me clear it out. Just make sure this is our template that everybody uses. Beautiful. Let's come back to the presentation. And I want to make sure we got plenty of time for Q&A. Okay. So again, the 3 mindsets to just kind of wrap this up, guys. Do not wait to plan for your vacations. Okay? It doesn't hurt for you to plan next year's vacation now and to start laying it out. If this is something that's important to you guys, start building out the plans on how to get there. Do not let it sneak up on you and then just do it anyways. Okay? 2, let the numbers guide you, okay? Hopefully, because you're here right now, you're on a journey of trying to progress and grow financially, right? And move towards financial freedom in some capacity, okay? Don't let vacations cause you to take 10 steps backwards, okay? It's not necessary. Again, I said this in the beginning of the call, I want you progressing financially and enjoying the journey along the way. And I promise you, not planning things like vacations not only deters you from growth, but it's not going to be enjoyable. Okay, that short-lived gratification on the vacation, man, those 2 words, gratification of the vacation, okay, will lead you to a lot of regret and not being worth it on the back end. We've all been there, and for some reason, guys, we keep doing it. Okay, I'm not going to have you guys say if you've done it multiple times, but I have. I'll say it. We go through that pain and that regret, and then for some reason, we just do it again the next time. Make this the moment where you say, I'm done repeating that cycle. I'm going to plan these things out. Okay? And 3, again, guys, why are we doing all this? So that you can truly enjoy your trip. Don't believe the lie that just YOLOing it is going to be where truly enjoying the trip comes from. I promise you that's not how it goes. And I think deep down you all know that as well. Build out the plans, do it right, and it'll be so much sweeter. All right. So some discussion questions we're going to go over today. 1, do you have any summer plans / getaways, anything, even a day trip, guys? We want to be able to factor this into the plan. And if not this summer, anything in the future, right? I want you actually thinking about and planning and projecting ahead. When is the next vacation that you guys have in mind, or when do you want it to be? Okay. Two, do you have your plan fully laid out? Right. And if the answer is no, I think that kind of begs the question of let's make it happen. All right. Three, I want to know, have you ever taken advantage of our vacation planner before? If so, or if not, what questions do you have about it? Okay, if you're watching the replay of this, I want you to drop your answers and or questions in the comment section below. Okay? Couple administrative things, guys. For our mastermind members, we have our live community coaching call on Saturday, May 31st. Okay, I want you guys to book into that. You can use this QR code. Also, we have a million ways of getting you the link to book into it. Okay? And if you're watching this and you're needing some additional help, you're saying, Coach Fern, this all sounds great. I love this tool. I love the topic that you're discussing. I would like to learn more. I want to get you onto a one on one financial game plan call with us. Okay. In this call, we're going to dive into your situation, discuss where you're at now and where you're trying to go. We're going to dig into the main problems that we believe are holding you back from these two different points. And we're going to give you some mindset shifts and strategies that we believe will help you get to that end goal. Okay. And if we do believe we can help you out, we'll simply share with you more about what that might look like. Okay. Also, if you're watching the replay for this and you want to book into my next Money Mastery Live, I do this every single month where I pick a new topic in the term in regarding money mastery, and we're going to go ahead and keep this thing rolling. Use this QR code to book your spot in the next call. Okay. And always remember, Metanoians, this journey was not meant to do alone. Stay involved, stay engaged, and let's continue growing together as a community. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share now. We're going to open up into some discussion time and some Q&A. And I think I saw Mary.